Andrea. Curtis. Let's call. We on for tonight.
October 23rd, and it's 1:04 p.m. Please join me as we rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call.
Vice Chairperson Eli Cooper,
Present.
Ms. Sheila Cote. Present. Dr. Curtis Ivory is participating virtually by Zoom as a non-voting member. Mr. Royce Manico is excused absent. Ms. Diana McBroom. Present. Mr. Assad Turfi.
Okay, adoption of the agenda. Agenda's in your packet. Does anyone have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Support?
Support.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed? The agenda is approved. Certification of public notice.
SMART will hold the rescheduled Board of Directors meeting on Thursday, October 23rd, 2025 at 1 p.m. at Simcox, located at 1001 Woodward Avenue, Suite 1400, Detroit, Michigan. To virtually attend on smartphone, tablet, or computer, please enter the web browser. Members of the public may also submit a written comment by emailing SmartBoardBus by 12 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Requests for reasonable accommodations at SMART require advanced reservations. Public comments will proceed as follows. All comments, 3-minute limit per member of the public. Public comments will be received in the following order. 1, members of the public who attend in person. 2, members of the public present via Zoom. 3, written comments via email. This meeting is open to the public.
Okay, thank you. Next on our agenda is approval of the minutes, and we have 2 minutes from the September 25th meeting. Entertain a motion for the board meeting minutes for September 25.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor of aye?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Second set of minutes for approval, the executive session minutes for September 25th, 2025. And accept the motion.
So move. Second.
Support.
They're champing at the bit here. Thank you for that. Any comments? Discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the ayes have it. Public participation. Public comment shall be allowed for one participant at a time. Participants shall not speak until recognized by me, chairperson. Each participant, remote and in person, will be required to provide, please, your name, county of resident, and topic they would like to address. Online participants must also provide an email address by sending the email address to smartboard@smartbus.org. Online participants must also have camera access. Virtual participation will be facilitated through Zoom. The link was provided. To register via Zoom, a comment participant must raise their hand. The meeting administrator will select the individuals in the order received. Online participants will also have 3 minutes to speak. Participants will be muted when the time expires. Chairperson will designate a timekeeper for enforcing the time limit. Email public comment will not be read, but printed, copied, and made available at the meeting.
Anytime, Buck.
Any members of the public who would like to address the board?
Mike.
There you go. Come on up. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here, as I always am. I'm sorry I missed last month's meeting. I think I still have some marbles in my mouth from the dental work I'm going through. So if I'm garbling a little bit, I don't pay no attention to it. So anyway, the reason, my main subject here continues to be the bus riders and the conditions of the shelters that we do not provide enough of. It's really been disturbing to me. I talk to the bus riders all the time, and I get a lot of interesting stories. I have a number of bus stops, including some that aren't shelters. I just take care of some others. But, sorry, I'm back. But the one can get really very bad. And so I was able to actually use a garden hose from the company that was adjacent to the shelter, and that worked out pretty well until the owner said, no, we really don't want to do that. No. So if you think about cleaning up many of the items that end up being a problem in the shelter, we need to clean these shelters up. My goodness, this is a disgrace. I mean, I can't believe it. So you have a woman and her children, you have someone with 5 or 6 bags of grocery, you have elderly people, and how about the 71% of the people you have that are going to and from work? And so that's why oftentimes you'll see a lot of the riders standing outside the shelter because I'm not going to go in that shelter. Ooh. I mean, is that really what we want to do? I mean, I thought this was all about the rider. I'm not sure that that's always a priority way up here. So, and anything is a power washing unit, a truck with water, to do a proper one. I've even hired a couple of times, and I've also had a gentleman volunteer his services to clean it. Well, folks, we have to think about our riders. Come on now. This just doesn't make sense.
Mr. Rayner, your 3 minutes are up.
Up already.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you.
Talk about, okay,
Thank
thank you.
You, sir.
Thank you.
Chairman Cooper,
Yes.
we have 3 participants virtually. We have Robert Pawlowski, Chuck Altman, and Mr. Hunter. We do not have any emails mailed to us for public comment. Robert Pulowski would speak first.
Thank you very much. Greetings, everyone. I know it's kind of short-lived, but I cannot miss the board meetings. They are just so fun to be at, and there's always a great amount of stuff going on here at SMART. But for everyone that knows me, Robert Pulowski from Southgate, Wayne County, and I'm also one of the at-large members for our SMART Advisory Council representing Wayne County. Today, I'm here on business regarding some stuff over at my school. Most of you know that I'm attending OCC this year for my first semester, and I have heard a lot of concerns from people that use the bus service, specifically on our campus at Auburn Hills, in which I attend. A lot of people struggle from financial hardship, or the buses are infrequent or unreliable, specifically where Auburn Hills campus is located on Featherstone Road. Now, there are one bus route that serves that particular area, but like I said, it's very infrequent and unreliable the way the structure and padding of our infrastructure is in that community. Now, for people having to leave a certain part of the day, it's tweaking that frequency and working with the college to see the demands that'll help service improve in that particular community. The second piece, financial stability. Some people can't afford certain bus trips, bus passes, and sometimes the $2 fare may be a burden to some people. With the collective partnership that DDOT has worked with Wayne State to provide free bus passes to their students, I would like to propose an idea that works collectively with Oakland Community College and SMART to provide bus passes to all current students to be able to improve the ridership, get people on transit, but also makes it easier for people on financial hardship to get to class back and forth, whether you're at Orchard Ridge, whether you're in Waterford trying to attend Highland Lakes campus, or you're at Auburn Hills like I am. Transportation is essential, especially for our students, and the way we improve that in Oakland County is if we work to find collective partnerships between our schools and our transportation agencies. I thank you very much for your time, and if anyone has questions, please feel free to reach out to me directly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Chuck Holtman. Maybe we can move on to Mr. Okay, they no longer want to be chairman.
Thank you. Does that conclude the virtual participation?
We can move on to the chairperson's
Okay.
report.
Thank you very much. Next item on our agenda is a chairperson's report, and I'd like to, first time as chair, as vice chair standing in as chair. I think folks may be noticing that as we get into October and November, our days are getting shorter. And for the transit operators, I know you know this, but as the days get shorter, it's darker out. And what happens is it's harder for people to see or be seen. And so I know SEMCOG, whose offices were in this afternoon, have a Safe Streets program, and they have materials to distribute. I think it's also important for us as SMART, both as employees, operators, as well as board members, and all of our riders and citizens generally, be aware that as our days get shorter, it is harder and harder to see other people who may be moving about to cross the street to get to a bus shelter, to access transit service, and that this is an important consideration, because at the end of the day, if you're a couple minutes late, you may not be happy about that, but what we would like to do is facilitate everybody arriving alive. And so please be aware, and I know it's a week or two before we move the clocks, but then it gets darker even earlier. Please keep safety at the forefront, and I appreciate the work that everyone does in that regard. That concludes the chairman's report. At this point, I'll turn to Tiffany for the general manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And good afternoon, everyone. I have a few items I want to discuss here today. We have had a very busy October. One of the highlights that we had, we were, I guess, leaving this last board meeting, we went and participated. I was sat on a panel for Move America. It's a global infrastructure mobility organization, and we talked about infrastructure in this region and opportunities. We sat on the panel with some folks from some research institutions, as well as the CEO of the Columbus system, ECOTA, who have recently doubled their revenue to be able to look at some major improvements in their communities. And we sort of did a juxtaposition of how you make it work with what you have and how you prepare yourself for the future when there is greater opportunity for expanded funding. That was a very positive panel. I got a lot of feedback online, and it put us on a global stage. So we were excited about that. And then I believe it was last week. Was it last week? We hosted the Compto Brain Trust. Myself and Robert Kramer, who is the executive director at DDOT, were the co-chairs. And this year's theme, it's an annual Brain Trust breakfast that they host at the Detroit Athletic Club. And this year's theme was advanced intelligence and AI as it relates to mobility. The deputy mayor, Malia Howard, was our keynote speaker, and we had a panel of experts to talk about how to introduce advanced intelligence into the mobility environment. It was a very, very engaging discussion. We had a packed house at the DAC with folks learning about how do you implement policies, and that it's something that, you know, a lot of people have a strong opinion about AI, either positively or negatively, but truly it's technology which has a moral neutrality to it, and that there is no expectation that we're going to replace people. But one of the key quotes that came out of that, and I just want to share it with this group, is that AI won't replace jobs, but the people who use and utilize AI effectively will. And I thought that was a powerful takeaway from that panel of how you can use tools to maximize and optimize efficiency. So that was another great day for SMART, having a conversation that kind of elevates the perception and the understanding about public transportation and what it can bring. Moving from that, shortly thereafter, we talk to you a bit about our time in Lansing, lobbying our legislators with respect to public transit funding. And it was not just SMART, I have to say. We had the RTA with us, MPTA, who Harmony chairs the board for the Michigan Public Transit Association, the advocacy groups. It was a group effort. Everybody in Southeast Michigan that had a stake in public transportation was in Lansing, helping the legislators understand the importance of what it is we do and how many people we serve. And we are really happy to report that we made some history here. For the first time since Public Act 51 existed, it was the greatest allocation for public transportation in its history. So we are really excited about that. And that deserves some applause. So we know how to get them to give. So with that, I wanted to break down a little bit of what that means, because it doesn't mean that it's just going to be all new dollars coming to us. On the LBO side, we stabilized our funding. But what they also did that I want to share with you that I thought was really forward thinking, and something that over the last 2 decades we've been asking for, but the state, I believe, has finally heard us on this, is they created an infrastructure projects fund. And so while 35 million of the additional funding is going to LBO, we also see that there is approximately 65 million that's going to be allocated to this infrastructure projects fund. And what they're encouraging is collaboration for such a time as this, where all of the heads of transit agencies know each other, respect each other. And I do believe, and I say it pretty enthusiastically, we trust each other. We can start working on projects that really, truly unite this region. And they are encouraging that and looking for that from us for the first time, and they're giving some priority to those transit projects. So this is a new day where we are looking at some transit innovations that are going to make a difference to the rider, and we're excited about that. So I'm moving on from there. We are also following up on our triennial certification. I believe we've wrapped up the triennial view. I'm looking for Beth in May, June. May. We wrapped up the audit. So we just had our Finance and Budget Committee meeting. This is the federal side of that. We did have 12 findings, 12 deficiencies in that report. We're happy to report that 7 of those have been closed as of today. There are 5 of them that required some more detailed involvement, and we have put in our extensions before the deadline, requesting those extensions, which is something that the Federal Transit Administration does ask us to do. Those 5 extensions that we're asking for have a lot to do with how we do our physical inventory, which is a substantial amount. We want to make sure that we give ourselves adequate time to do that. So we did request an extension for that. I heard a bit about this if you were in the committee meeting about subrecipient oversight, moving forward with that and making sure that our subrecipients, our community partners understand how we're moving forward and we have time to do those audits. So we've asked for an additional time to do that. The spare ratio reduction plan, we are trying to get to the FTA requirement of the 20% spare ratio. Right now, we are significantly over that. It's going to take us roughly a year to achieve that spare ratio reduction. We've asked for that extension as well. And lastly, on preventive maintenance, our quarterly reports have to be at least 80% on time for a period of a year. So in order to reach and achieve the goal that they're looking for, we do need that additional year to do so. So we've asked for that extension. Those are the 5 extensions that are currently on the table. We're waiting to hear back from FTA. What we believe in having conversations with them is that they understand exactly why we're asking for the extensions. We talked about it during the audit, and now we've made good on providing the rationale for it and making the request for it. So we just want to hear back from them on their approval of those extensions. Before I move on, are there any questions about the triennial that anyone has for me?
Ms. Gunter, are you experiencing any difficulty in dealing with the federal government because of the shutdown at this point?
Let's see, how do I want to answer this question? So no, not difficulty. It has been, it's highly bureaucratic, has been, but we have a really great partner for our regional administrator that allows us to reach them directly. Sometimes the response times are slower because there are fewer staff in terms of getting approvals for extensions on time. That is part of the reason why they made the request for us to send them early. We had until, I believe, today to send the request in. We sent them in about a week and a half early for that reason. So that should help
At this point.
at this point. At this point. Thank you for that question. Any other questions about triennial before I move on? Okay. So, and some other news, we did, Mr. Parker and I were in Washington, D.C. yesterday. We got back yesterday evening. We went there for what's called an APTA D.C. fly-in. So basically, you go into D.C. and you go and find all of your congressional leadership and have a conversation with them about priorities moving forward. So as many of you know, we are going into another reauthorization in the coming year. So that information that they're collecting now to draft the reauthorization bill, which sets the funding structure, the authorization for the next 5 years of funding, is critically important to how we conduct our business. And also, we are looking at this next year of appropriation, the last year for the Infrastructure Act that was done, and we are requesting that they fund us fully for that appropriation. What we talked about with, we were in many offices yesterday, it was sort of a whirlwind, were 3 key things. And the 3 key things that we talked about inside of and outside of the reauthorization and appropriation are, we haven't for a long time been requesting grant dollars, but we have a request that we plan to put in over the next 2 months for the build grant or additional dollars to help us with our first dedicated lane for public transit. We've been talking with our partners to try to make this a reality. It was well received on both sides of the aisle, and we're going to submit for that. It's not a guarantee, but it's something that we intend to do. And if we're not successful, then we also have congressional directed spending that we expect once things normalize in DC, that will move forward in the spring. We will continue to ask for dollars to support that as well. The second key item that we were talking about as it relates to reauthorization and just overall good policy is the elimination of spare ratio requirements. And the reason for this is that right now we have 2 manufacturers in buses, which means that where we went from an 18 to 24 month lead time, sometimes it takes more than 3 years to receive a fixed route bus. And when we want to increase service, as we're seeing historic funds coming into levels of funding coming into SMART, We don't want to have relinquished vehicles that we could be using for good service. And that is an issue across all transit properties across the nation. So together as a team, we kind of huddled with all the different heads of organizations and we had those conversations with representation across the nation yesterday. So that was a really good discussion. Last, and I think one of the most important conversations we had was on safety and security. This administration's focus on safety and security is a very high priority for them. What we talked to them about was two things, and I'm glad you all are here today, was higher penalties for any assaults on operators. That we do believe that the same penalties that apply to a U.S. postal worker should apply if you have an issue or you attempt to assault one of our operators. What they do every day is important, and we want to protect them to the highest level of the law. There has been conversation at both the state and federal level about changing those penalties. We are pushing that across the nation so that we can see those realized for our operators. The second part of the safety and security is also safety at our garages. Want to increase and enhance the security at our facilities and make sure that not just our operators are secure, but also our maintenance teams, our vehicles, our infrastructure. And so there are dollars that they are considering right now for that. Encouraging them to include that authorization, not as a cut off of some preventive maintenance operating dollars, but as a separate set aside for specific safety and security funds. So when I say we had a good but long day, might be a little bit tired, but we are still going nonetheless because we have a lot of work to do. So that was yesterday in Washington, D.C. Any questions on that before I move on? All right, hang on. I'm going to keep going because I don't want to take up too much time. I want to get to the good part. It's there, but I don't want to move on without acknowledging our employees overall at SMART. Was that also last week? My goodness, these weeks. The Shades of Pink. So we did a 3-day. So our employees asked us, and I'm sharing this with the board because the team already knows this. Our employees asked us last year, what can we do to support breast cancer awareness? We have so many individuals that have, just about everybody in our organization has been touched in some way, a family member themselves or a friend by breast cancer. And so they wanted to raise funds. So last year we did a 3-day fundraiser for employees. We were able to raise $9,000 for what's called the Shades of Pink organization. They provide gap funding for people who get chronic diagnoses and cannot afford rent or whatever bills they need to pay. Over the past 20 years, they've allocated $3.5 million to the $3.5 million to Southeast Michigan families. I'm happy to report that this year we did it again for the 3-day fundraiser, and we raised $11,000 and counting for Shades of Pink. So I want to show off our big check. And I am excited because that is something that just goes to the heart of who our employees are and that they are part of the community and they care. And we had a lot of fun across the garages. I wore a lot of pink. That is not my favorite color, but in the month of October, it gotta be. So with that, thank you to our employees for taking that seriously. And I believe that number is still going up as people continue to make contributions to that. The folks at Shades of Pink, this organization tremendously for that partnership. Coming up in November, we don't have a meeting, so I will talk about this. We are preparing to participate in some Meals on Wheels programs and help our local communities with our vehicles. A lot of the problems with Meals on Wheels is when people with their individual vehicles are trying to deliver meals, you can't always guarantee the integrity of the meal that's being delivered. And so we have some capacity. We have some willing operators who want to support that and do some volunteer work Meals on Wheels over the from that Saturday before the holiday up until that Wednesday. We are organizing that now. So we're still looking for volunteers to participate with us in that as well. I am almost done. We got a lot going on, so bear with me. Let's see here. What did I leave off on? It's something, but I don't remember what it is. So I think that's enough for now. If you have any questions for me, you let me know. But other than that, I'm going to pass it back to you, Mr. Chairman. Oh, God. My favorite part, and I almost missed it. Thank you, sir. All right. We are going to do what I think is a rare thing for an organization these days to be able to do. And we are going to recognize our employees with 25 years of service or more. And if you look over here to my right, you will see this is not 4 or 5 individuals. This is a whole crew of folks who have been with SMART for more, a lot of them more than 2.5 decades. So this is a special day. I know that our chairman is going to be very envious of you, Vice Chair Cooper, that you get to take all the pictures with the folks who have been with us for some decades. So we're excited to have this moment with them. And then we have one person who I believe has been here the longest that we are also going to acknowledge with a little something different today as well. So with that, we are going to go stand at this podium and get started. All right. You got the list, Station. First up, we have Mr. Toro. This is Daishan who's going to present you with your 25-year certificate, sir. You want to place them on the other side? I'll get on you. I think you're sitting in order. All right. Then we have Denise Clark next with 25 years of service. Come on up, Ms. Clark. DeMarco Durrell. Oh, he's not here? Oh, man, we're missing 2 people today. All right, that's fine. I'm going to say their names anyway because they've been here for 25 plus years. DeMarco Durrell has been with us for 25 plus years, as well as Mr. Dennis Ellis of the IT department. Now we have Nicolyn Gist. Nikki, all right. Congratulations. Congratulations. And next up, we have Mr. Nathan Hearn. Nathan Hearn. This is Sam. I was like, no, you. Congratulations. All righty. Oh, okay, absolutely. I will do that. And I have Jay Hodgers. Jay, all right.
I get glare off of that, right? It's
You put this in here? Yvonne Johnson. There's Yvonne. Got it. Yeah, oh, hey, my, Tracy Laird. Tracy, there you go. Oh, man. All right. I saw her there. This must be special. They shall not put your pen out the pocket. Miss Nicole Mack. Look at you. Hey. I can't believe I almost. See, that's hilarious. All right. Next up, Mike's got to do his victory lap. Don't let him do it. All right. Roderick Payton. There's Rod.
What I mean.
Yeah. I stepped away, sorry.
Say what again? Oh. All right. So this is husband and wife that we're going to call up. It is Dolores and Vincent Shaw. Come on up. And No. Not- yes. Herbert Smith. Herb. There you go. We got you. Come on. No, you said come on. You was boss. Come on.
Why? Oh. Cheese. Big cheese.
Jennifer Smith. This is okay. So our last recipient of the 25 Years of Service Awards is Retanya Willis. Retanya, come on up. And now we are moving into the 30-year of service space. And there's more, y'all. So this is going to get fun. So here we go. We got one up, Danny. Linkoya Hicks. Tori. We know him as Tori. But that's supposed to be him first. Okay, right. He's where? Don't know where. We're gonna say his name. So I'm just acknowledging, even if they're not, they have 30 years of service. Not present with us currently, but perhaps maybe on the way. Gerald May is also a 30-year veteran with SMART, but is not here today. So next up, our last of the 30 years, that's 3 decades, Marlene Odoms. All right. So next up, we have our 35 years veterans. I'm gonna say you smart. You know, you guys look very young. Right. Considering your time in service. They all started at 5. All right. Are we ready? James Detmer, Jim, we know him as Jim.
Almost like milk.
Next up, with 35 years of service, Kelly Mayer. Oh, all right. And now the last of the 35-year category, Katrina Wiggles Smith. Katrina. All right, Luana. Now, it is my distinct honor and privilege in conjunction with Mr. Luan Bird to present a 45 years of service award. Now, while he stands here, we're gonna have John say, we're gonna let John say a few words. To say about John is one of the first things I remember about meeting John was he told me that he was going to retire soon. And we said, John, don't do that. So every year, he says, I'm going to retire. We said, don't do that. And he doesn't. He stays and he is committed like no other. There is no task too small, no task too big. If you ask John, his answer is yes. And we are so grateful for what he does for us. Thank you, John. Now I'm going to hand it to your boss. You want to speak? I know you don't.
Man, I
like
wasn't ready
public
for this,
speaking.
but
I
you
know.
know, I might cry. We're a family here. You know, one of the things I can say, you know, when I first came over to Oakland, this was one of the guys that actually helped me the best. Like she says, any holiday, anytime anybody wants to take off, he's filling in for them. It's not a day that John's not at Smart doing what it takes to get the job done. All I can say is congratulations. And if you do retire, I don't want you to, but congratulations also. Thank you.
All on time. All on time. One more time. What? What?
And so with that, we have done our duty and making sure we acknowledge our team. And sincerely, we thank you for your dedication to SMART. We know it is not easy day to day, but you have hung in there with us. You are the wisdom, our coming employees. We thank you for how you guide them and shepherd them, how you lead, and how you remain dedicated and show what dedication truly is. So thank you to all of you.
Mr. Chairman, could I say a couple words? To witness this, we need a lot of credit to the administration, Tiffany and her team for acknowledging the work of our service. And I think in today's environment, it's hard to keep around someone 2 years, let around 45. So it's really a privilege to know that you guys are committed to SMART, to know that you're here not for a job, but for a career. And hopefully this will keep building on, and every year the group will keep getting bigger and bigger. But I commend all of you guys for being loyal to this organization, and I hope this organization has been good to you because you all deserve it.
Okay, thank you for that. And again, I'll add my thanks and congratulations to all of you. What I would acknowledge is as the years of service was increasing, I started feeling younger and younger out there with you folks. So, okay. Next on the agenda is new business, as there are no board briefings. First item is a resolution for the authorization to award a contract for 23 full-size vans. Luan?
Good afternoon, Vice Chair. Directors. It is the recommendation that the board adopts the attached resolution authorizing the award of a contract for the purchase of 23 full-size vans for various community partners to Hoekstra Transportation. This is a one-time purchase not to exceed $2,364,107.90. As a part of the Smart Community Partnership Program, local communities provide transit services for seniors and individuals with disabilities. SMART supports these efforts by procuring vehicles for their use. To ensure the continuity of service, SMART requires 23 to replace aging vehicles that are due for retirement because of age or mileage, or both. The community partners that we will receive these vans are listed in the attached documents. Any questions?
Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Support.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Thank you, Luan. And looking at the list of providers that are receiving the vehicles, they're throughout the entire three-county service area. And I know from recent experience in Oakland County, as new wheels show up, more, and what's the right way to say, buns in the seats?
Yes.
So it's always great to be in a position to be expanding the fleet, replacing vehicles with new, better equipment, smoother rides. Thank you for that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Next item on our agenda is on authorization of a contract amendment number 2 for the extension of architectural engineering services for select existing projects. And Mr. Burt, while you're still here, please.
It's the recommendation that the board adopts the attached resolution authorizing a contract amendment for architectural and engineering services with Hubble, Roth, and Clark, HRC. We want to extend this contract for 1 year from November 1st to 2025 through October 31st, 2026, or until the select existing projects are completed. In October 2019, the SMART Board of Directors approved a contract with Hubble, Roth, and Clark for architectural and engineering services for 3 years with 2 one-year options. Both options has been exercised by SMART, and the second option year has been extended through October 31st, 2025. SMART is now seeking to extend its agreement with HRC to allow for the completion of specific projects at Smart and LET properties. This extension is proposed for the period beginning November 1st, 2025 through October 31st, 2026, or until the specific projects are completed. No additional funding or new projects shall be assigned to HRC during this extension period. Funding and all other terms and conditions shall remain unchanged. Any questions?
Not seeing any. I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Support.
Thank you for that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next under new business is item C, authorization to award a contract for the procurement of consulting service. Sean Riopole. Welcome, Sean.
Good afternoon, Vice Chair and members of the board. Smart is in need of procurement consulting services to aid in the modernization of the procurement department. Under the proposed contract, Periscope Holdings will perform a strategic procurement assessment as well as deliver a modernized procurement policy and procedure manual. The contract will also enable Smart to leverage staff augmentation services. Proposed contract will begin on November 1st, 2025 and run through February 24th, 2027. We are requesting approval of a not to exceed amount of $376,208 for the project. Okay. Is there any questions?
Any questions? Motion to approve.
So moved.
Support?
Support.
Thank you. Any additional discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're now at agenda item number 12, board member business. Any of the board members have any business to bring before the group? Seeing none, I'd close this item. Next item on the agenda, and it's a sad moment for me in terms of its meeting adjournment, and I'm going to relinquish my role as chair for this session. Do we need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Support?
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting